Jaya Advaitha Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Vande Guru Isha Bhakta Nisha Nisha Avatarakan Tat Prakasham Satat Shakti Krishna Chaitanya Sangyakam Granthera Arambha Kori Mangala Charana Guru Vaishnava Bhagavan Tinera Smarana Hai Vighana Vinashana Anayase Safal Havain Nija Vanchita Puranam Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear Vaishnavas, thank you so much for joining. We are reading Sri Chaitanya-Caritāmṛta, Chapter 1, Adi-lila of Chapter 1, text number 101. The chapter is entitled The Spiritual Masters. Eka adbhuta samakale donhara prakasha ara adbhuta chitta guhara tame kare nasha. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The first wonder is that the both brothers appear simultaneously, and the other is that they illuminate the foremost depths of the hearts. Hare Krishna. So who are the two brothers? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sri Nityananda Prabhu. They appear together and they dissipate the darkness of even the deepest regions of the heart or the innermost depths of the heart. So in short, they are very wonderful. Let's see how Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami continues. Next verse. Yes, Paswati Mataji, you want to read?
Hi Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Text 102. Ei Chandra Surya Dui Param Sadai Jagoter Bhagye Gaure Korila Uday. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Prabhupada ki jai. These two, the sun and moon, are very kind to the people of the world. Thus, for the good fortune of all, they have appeared on the horizon of Bengal. Purport. The celebrated ancient capital of the Sena dynasty, which was known as Gaura Desha or Gaura, was situated in what is now the modern district of Malda. Later, this capital was transferred to the ninth or central island on the western side of the Ganges at Navadipa, which is now known as Mayapur and was then called Gaudapura. Lord Chaitanya appeared there and Lord Nityananda came there and joined him from the district of Birbhum. They appeared on the horizon of Gauradesha to spread the signs of Krishna consciousness, and it is predicted that as the sun and moon gradually move west, the movement they began 500 years ago will come to the Western civilizations by their mercy. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Mahaprabhu drive away the 5 kinds of ignorance of the conditioned souls. In the Mahabharata, Udyaga Parva, 43rd chapter, these 5 kinds of ignorance are described. They are, number 1, accepting the body to be the self. Number 2, making material sense gratification one's standard of enjoyment. Number 3, being anxious due to material identification. Number 4, lamenting. And number 5, thinking that there is anything beyond the absolute truth. The teachings of Lord Chaitanya eradicate these 5 kinds of ignorance. Whatever one sees or otherwise experiences, one should know to be simply an exhibition of the Supreme Personality of Godhead's energy. Everything is a manifestation of Krishna. So, in this beautiful purport, Prabhupada is explaining giving the example of sun and moon as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and the moon is Nityananda Mahaprabhu. And where they were born 500 years ago, in the Navadvipa, in the Ganges of Navadvipa. Now it's known as Mayapur, also called Gaudapura. And Sri Nityananda Mahaprabhu was born in Birbhum district, Ekchakragram. So, and how this, and from, and this Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started this Sankirtan movement in Bengal. And then Srila Prabhupada, with Sri Chaitanya's mercy and Prabhupada's Gurudev's mercy, he able to bring that Sankirtan movement to the Western civilizations throughout the world and spread the mercy of Lord Sri Chaitanya in the form of Sankirtan movement. And here also it's explained that there are 5 kinds of ignorance explained here, which is also Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu eradicate with his teachings. That's what is explaining here, which are all manifestation of Sri Krishna. Back to you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Okay, we'll go on to the next one. 103. Who wants to read? Anish Prabhu,
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Dandot Pranam to everybody. Text number 103. Sai dui prabhaura kari charana vandana yanaha ye ite vignanasha avishta purana. Translation by Divine Guest A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Jai. Let us therefore worship the holy feet of these two lords. Thus, one can be rid of all difficulties on the path of self-realization. Thank you, Prabhu. Back to you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Very straightforward. Those who worship the lotus feet of the two brothers, Gauranga and Nityananda, or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Mahaprabhu, what happens? Yaha haita vigna nasha abhishta purana. Quite similar to one we recite in the after the Mangalachara. Tine rasmarana koi vigana vinashana anayase ayanija vanchita purana. Quite similar, vancha or abhishta. So in short, remembering Sri Guru and Krishna, remembering Vaishnavas, removes all the obstacles, vigana vinashana, and same effect if one touches the lotus feet or worships the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, one will be freed from all the difficulties on the path of pure bhakti. In short, everything favorable will be available, everything which is not conducive, the Lord will help us to get rid of those. So very important. 104. Yes, Kirti, Mataji, you want to read?
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. Text 104. Ai dui shloke kaliya mangala vandana triyo shloker artha suno sarvajana. Translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. I have invoked the benediction of the Lord with these 2 verses, text 1 and 2 of this chapter. Now please hear attentively the purport of the 3rd verse. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. So who knows the first verse of this chapter? Anyone knows? Oh. Vande Guru Nisha Bhaktan Isha Nisha Avatarakan Tat Prakasham Satat Shakti Krishna Chaitanya Sangyakam. That's the first verse. And the second verse, Vande Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityanandau Sahoditau Gaudaudai Pushpavantau Chitrau Sandau Tamonudau. This is also very important prayer. So we can try to learn the second verse also. So Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami kind of explaining the purport of these two verses. The prayers to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu in the last, actually from 84 onwards, from text 84 onwards to 120 verses, he's talking about text number 2. And from the verses before 103, practically, from text number 32 onwards, he was talking about the first verse, which includes the 5 features. Vande Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Vande Guru, Isha Bhaktan, Guru, spiritual master, devotees, Tat Prakasham, Isha Avatarakan, Tat Prakashams, Tat Shakti. So all the 5 aspects we discussed. And in this, we discussed specifically about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, the 2 brothers. So now, let's see the third verse of from 105th verse. What happens here? Yes, Moksha Mataji.
Hare Krishna, all devotees, Sanvat Pranam. Text 105. Shri Gopala Bhatta Ek Sakha Sarvotama Rupa Sanatana Sange Yenera Prema Alapana. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Shri Gopala Bhatta Goswami, the 47th branch, was one of the great and exalted branches of the
Hare
tree.
Krishna. Where are you? Which chapter are you reading, Mataji?
Prabhuji, chapter 1. Okay, it is, sorry. Text 105. Vaktaya bhulaya grantha visharadhare visharana varni sathakahi alpakshere. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. I purposely avoid extensive description for fear of increasing the bulk of this book. I shall describe the essence as concisely as possible. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So here it is said as means like I am not able to understand fully, but I guess it is saying that we must avoid the description and straight away come to the means like point or something. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, back to you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So the last few verses of this chapter, we'll try to complete this chapter today. So in short now, from text number 3 basically talks about the Supreme Personality of Godhead, what the Upanishads describe as an impersonal Brahman, the Supreme Lord known as the Super Soul in everyone's heart, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, but Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami, knowing that Kali Yuga people can't read big things, so trying to explain it in brief. So let's see what he is sharing. 106th verse. Anyone wants to read?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, can I read?
Yeah, please, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna devotees, Standard Pranam, Ankush Srila Prabhupada. Mitam cha saram cha vacho hi vagmita iti. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Essential truth spoken consciously is true eloquence. Thank you, Prabhuji. Back to you, please.
Concisely, briefly, concise manner. It's true eloquence. Who knows the meaning of eloquence? Eloquent speech is like fine speech. What do you think, Sudhir Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Is that correct?
Yeah, fluent,
Fluent.
yeah.
Just
Devotees are
elegant.
called elegant. Fine. So in short, we should try to also follow this. Speak concisely and like these are the qualities of speech to be. The devotees are called saara, grahi, or they speak the tattva rather than sometimes someone could speak for 5 minutes, but still it may be hard to understand what the person wanted to convey. But someone could speak for 10 seconds, but the message would be very crisp and clear. So let's see what Srila Kaviraj Goswami is speaking. Vipul Prabhu, you want to read?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Hare Krishna devotees, Dandavat Pranam. All Krishna Srila Prabhupada. Text 107. শুনিলে খণ্ডিবে চিত্তে অজ্ঞানাদি দোষ কৃষ্ণে গাঢ় প্রেম হবে পাইবে সন্তোষ. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Simply hearing submissively will free one's heart from all the faults of ignorance, and thus one will achieve deep love for Krishna. This is the path of peace. Back to you.
Thank you. So hearing about Krishna, Krishna's name, form, qualities, all the impurities, I think I've discussed this point multiple times, all the darkness, ignorance, faults will be completely gone, and one will achieve what? Prema. One will achieve Krishna Gada Prema, not just Fika Prema. Fika is like mild. Gada means thick, condensed love. Gada Prema. Habe. Paive Santosha. And then talking about satisfaction. You'll be talking about satisfaction soon. Vamandev is your parallelly reading. Satisfaction is so important. So hearing Krishna Katha, hearing the qualities of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the Supreme Lord in his incarnation will lead to satisfaction and remove the faults of dissatisfaction and ignorance. So therefore we try to hear every day. Any other? Next two verses. Yes, Lakshay, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Advaitha Mahatva Tanla Bhakta Bhakti Nama Prema Rasa Tattva. Bina Likhiyachi Kariya Vichara Sunile Janibi Sabha Vastu Tatpasara. Translation. If one patiently hears about the glories of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Nityananda Prabhu and Sri Advaitha Prabhu, and the devotees, devotional activities, names, and fame, along with the mellows of the transcendental loving exchanges, one will learn the essence of the absolute truth. Therefore, I have described these in the Chaitanya-Caritāmṛta with logic and discrimination. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Very nice. Thank you, Prabhu. So, therefore, we have to hear about all these Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Advaitha Acharya, etc., about the devotees also, about the process of bhakti, about their name, fame, qualities, Nama, Rupa, Lila, etc., and the different exchanges, in different rasas, different pastimes of the Lord. This is what is the real thing to hear about. Krishna and his incarnation, his pastimes, everything is transcendental. So, last verse of this chapter. Anyone wants to read? Babu Prabhu?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Sri Rupa Raghunanda Pade Yara Asa Caitanya-Caritāmṛta Kahe Krishna Dasa. Translation. Scroll please. Praying at the lotus feet of Sri Rupa and Sri Raghunanda, always desiring their mercy, I, Krishna Dasa, narrate Sri Caitanya-Caritāmṛta, following in their footsteps. Purport. Thus end the Bhakti Vedanta purport to Sri Caitanya-Caritāmṛta, Adi-lila, first chapter, describing the spiritual masters. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, the first chapter is basically Mangalacharan, which is ending here. So, before Sri Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami begins to start narrating the pastimes of the Lord or the form of the Lord, talking about the Lord, Chaitanya-Caritāmṛta, he is praying at the lotus feet of all the Guru Parampara, all the Vaishnavas, the Supreme Lord, etc., the incarnations. Sri Rupa Raghunatha Pade. We all are Rupanugas. Sri Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami is also a follower of Rupa Goswami as a Shiksha disciple. Rupa Raghunatha Pade. For all the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, actually, Rupa Goswami is one of the foremost acharyas. Yara Asha. This is my desire or expectation. So, any comments before we kind of pause? We completed the first chapter of Adi-lila. As you know, that Chaitanya-Caritāmṛta is in the three parts or divisions: Adi-lila, Madhya-lila, and Ant-lila. So, we'll study the summary and next chapter tomorrow. But I think it's a good point to pause here and start reading Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam for today. Hare